The Love Talk Show on Liberty Radio.
Love stories in the hot seat.
A very good evening to all of you, and I have today here with me, as usual, my wife Andrea.
Hello, good evening. Talking about intelligent love today with a couple. Oh, yes, it is. Thank you. Today with our guests, very special guests. Are you curious?
Yes, you don't know yet who they are, but they are here next to me, and they will share with us a little bit of what did happen with them when they first met, when they took this journey of getting married, taking the difficult but the important step of being together, on serving God on the altar. Andrea, we have already someone we connected with us.
We do have. Who is ready for tonight's love story? What branches are connected tonight? Oh, someone is helping us. And Edir, the anonymous has a name, Edir. Thank you, Edir. So we have Plaster connected in faith, Hortensia. Who else from Plaster is connected? Tara. Hello, Tara. Good evening. We have Croydon, Rianne, and Chantal from Leeds. Do we have anyone else from Leeds? No, but we have from Croydon, Bettina, and we have Woodgreen, Marie. And Sheila, also from Liverpool. Good evening, Liverpool. And we also have Brixton connected in faith, Vernice. Perfect. And Sego connected from Isle of Wight. Stratford Lions connected. We have Sabrina. We have Luton connected. Good evening, Luton. Noshi. Okay. And we have also Jackie from Ipswich. Good evening to all. Someone is trying to get in touch with us. Do you want to know who is with us tonight? They are calling Peter.
Yeah, Noshi, I'm sorry, but it's not who you are writing here. One day will be, but it's not him yet. It's someone else.
Not yet.
Well, I would like to remind you that we choose here in this program the pastor who is going to be in the hot seat on Thursday. And for tomorrow we have already chosen the Pastor Dan. All of you together, you were voting and you choose Pastor Dan from our branch in Plasto. And tomorrow he's going to be in the love therapy to talk to Bishop in the hot seat. However, we have already opened the opportunity for you to vote which pastor is going to be on the next Thursday in our hot seat. So we have Pastor Joshua from our church in Catford. We have Pastor Michael Souza from our church in Peckham, Pastor Michelle from Woodgreen, Pastor Fagner Feitosa from the same branch, Plasto, but is taking care of the Portuguese services. And we have Pastor Ricardo Freitas from Luton. You can go to Vivox, you can scan the QR codes, and then you can choose which pastor is going to be with us next Thursday. Not tomorrow, because tomorrow Pastor Dan from Plaster will be. You already voted, but the following Thursday here, 8 p.m.
Pay attention to the 10 reasons why you should take part in the love therapy. 10. Heal from the wounds of past relationships. 9. Learn about intelligent love. 8. Prepare yourself before dating. 7. Become a better husband or wife. 6. Restore a marriage in crisis. 5. Learn to value yourself. 4. Win back a lost love. 3. Debunk relationship myths. 2. Learn how to choose someone compatible. 1. Bulletproof your relationship. The Love Therapy, every Thursday at 8 p.m. at 232 Seven Sisters Road, Finsbury Park, London, N4 3NX. Also at selected locations across the country. You can find out more by calling us on 020 7686 6000.
Love stories in the hot seat.
So 10:05 and we are in the Love Talk Show. And today with us we have Pastor Shahil and his wife Jasleen. Nice to meet you. You're more than welcome to join us today here in our Love Talk Show. So tell us a little bit more about you. How long have you been married for? How old are you?
We want to know everything.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for having us today, Pastor. We are actually quite newly married. Been married for a little over a year now.
Okay. I've been
Still
there
honeymoon.
not long ago.
But we are 27 years maybe.
No, not
but we're
long
still
ago.
in honeymoon.
Yeah.
Why?
And tell us, how long have you been in the church for?
For about 8-9 years.
8 to 9 years. Okay. So when did you start talking? When did you meet each other?
So,
How was this
it's
adventure? Because people, they would like to know.
It's actually a very
We too.
funny story. So she came to the church. She started coming to the church seriously when I actually was raised as a UBI. So I was raised as a UBI. I think it was July 2018.
Yeah.
Something like that. And then I was raised as a UBI. She said she told me that she saw me, and then I had to go on to another branch. So I was raised and I went to another branch and I was serving there, and then she started in the church, and then we didn't know each other. We didn't meet each other until, like, properly know each other until about 2 years later.
Okay.
1 or 2 years later, when she had already converted. She had, become an assistant now for a few years, serving God. And it just came to my attention. A pastor told me that, there is an assistant in this other branch. Now I was back in the headquarters. And then I was told, there's this assistant, of the land, young, about your age. And she wants to serve God. I said, okay, Pastor, that's good to know.
Okay. Please, Shahil, let's wait a little bit. Let me hear what your wife has to say. How was during those days from your perspective?
Yeah, so as he said, I saw him when he was raised as a pastor, but then he went. So when I decided to serve on the altar, then there was a time, once a week, I used to come to the headquarters to help in the media. And he was in charge of media at that time. So that's how we started talking as well. So in the beginning, when we started talking, I noticed that there was something from him. Yeah, there was something from him. So I started running away from him. I wouldn't talk to, because at that time I was not focused on my love life.
Don't worry, Shahil. She would call me Horizon.
Horizon.
Oh, Horizon, yeah. Horizon.
Yes.
Please continue.
Yes, so I started running away from him, but he was persistent. He kept coming. He kept coming up, talking, yeah.
But during this time, were you already asking God to bless your love life, to put someone on your way, or not?
Did you want the altar?
Yes, I wanted the altar. So I gave my love life on the altar. I said, God, my love life belongs to you, because while I was converting, love life was something that I had to surrender. So it was already there. That's why I started running away from him,
She
because
actually, she forgot to mention, she had been in multiple broken relationships
yeah.
before coming to the church, and that was one of her many issues that prevented her from getting closer to God. And so she was mentioning to me as we were speaking, and the time that we were speaking, that was one of the reasons why she even ran away from me, because she didn't want her spiritual life and serving God to be affected.
Yeah.
There was a myth that she had in her mind.
Yeah. And she didn't want, I believe you didn't want to fail again.
Yes.
You want to, this time, to be for real. So, and how was it, Shahil? Who took the first step?
So I took the first step, but the interesting thing is, Pastor, that same year I became, I came to this understanding that for my ministry to be complete, I need to be married.
Mm-hmm.
But that was something that I was never really focused on my entire life. I've always been shy from love life. I had never been in a relationship, nothing, no girlfriend, nothing of that sort.
But in the work of God, just for people to understand, although you already told me off air, how long have you been single for, or were you single for in the work of God?
About 3 years or so, 3 to 4
3
years.
years.
And so I remember it was a campaign of Israel for Abraham, go out of your land, when we did that purpose. I think it was Abraham. But I recall that I made a campaign. I said, God, I surrender my love life into your hands. I don't know who, I don't know from where, I don't know what will happen, but I want my love life to be blessed.
It's funny, Andrea, because it seems that he is or was giving up on his dreams, just surrendering it to God. But the truth, and I believe, Shahil, I can speak this on your behalf, he was surrendering because he knows, or he knew it, God will choose better than myself.
And that's what happens when we surrender all our life on the altar. We don't fear. We just trust. And one of the things that caught my attention while Jasleen was talking was that she came to the church, and you were even saying that you already UBI.
Yes.
And she was just getting to the church, just on that moment. And sometimes people that we talk to, youths, they say, there's no one for me at the church, or I have to wait as an UBI or an auxiliary pastor. But God has everything ready for us at the right moment, the right time. She was just coming to the church, getting to the church first time, and he was already an UBI. So God has everything planned. We were even discussing that yesterday. Don't be anxious. Don't ask. There's no one here at my branch. She was not from his branch, right?
Yeah,
You're from different branches. You didn't know her before.
No.
So when you laid eyes on her, I was like, okay, maybe this was the one, because it caught your attention. Someone spoke to you. So everything happens when it needs to happen, in the sense of, if your life is on the altar, it will bear fruit. The sacrifice will bear fruit, because it was even after a campaign of Israel.
It was after a campaign. So when I took part of that campaign, I surrendered in God's hands. I said, God, I don't know who, I don't know from where, but it has to be a woman of God. And I recall a few months later, it was actually the pastor who told me, that there is an assistant in this other branch who wants to serve God. And I was a bit hesitant, because I said, can it be so soon? I said, no. And I was a bit hesitant. And then that's when I started to observe and make my queries about her, because the pastor of the branch that she was in was quite close to me. So I started making inquiries without making him aware that I was interested in her.
Card, that's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one. You can talk about yourself relating with what Pastor said.
I've done the same, and
This is a hint.
It's interesting, because you start knowing already the person without getting emotionally involved.
That's a very good
That
one.
sometimes can distort a little bit what you really need to see and to know about the other person. Well, so you were already giving hints that you liked her, but she was running away.
Yeah. So what started happening was, after the period of me making my questions, knowing that she was a VOG coordinator in her branches, no, this is she's a woman of God.
Mm-hmm.
And then so she started being called to the headquarters to serve and help in the headquarters one day of the week, and that was the day I would try to be more in the church, and I would see her and make my observations, go to her, say hi, hello assistant, how are you? How's everything? Is everything going well? Do you have any problems with this device? No, let me help you. Just those extra helpful.
Yes.
Oh, let me carry the
Making
chair for
myself
you.
useful.
Let me do this. And then I realized she was starting to, distance herself from
he
me.
would send messages as well regarding the media work that I was doing, trying to help me to.
So like, if you have any questions, here is, feel free to ask. I'm here, you know where I am, where my office is, where I'm usually seated. Feel free to ask. And then she said, yes, Pastor. And then she just kept it to that.
Okay.
And then, what I did to make her know that I was really interested in her, after, speaking to the pastor, and then he would say, why don't you, let her know. Approach her, because, you need to, make your case. Like, I like you, so. Again, I had never been in a relationship. I had no clue on how to go about it.
Sorry, Shahil. But during those days, you were not giving a clear hint that you were interested. But what were you doing? For sure, you were observing. You were doing something. What was or is your perspective concerning to this?
Yeah, because the way he was speaking, although he was not giving a direct hint, but because for a pastor to speak a lot, he was not speaking about like other things, but speaking about the work. But to speak too much about something, there's something fishy there. So when I heard him saying all those things, so I would run away. But then I don't know, there was something when I used to go to the headquarters, when I used to see him walking, his zeal for the work of God, that caught my attention. And I started to observe him as well. Although I was running, but I was watching as well. I was not speaking to him, but I was watching him as well at the same time.
Important, isn't it, Andrea?
It's important.
Important because sometimes she wasn't giving a clear hint, I'm interested, but she was already looking at.
Intelligent love, like observing, asking questions, like we were saying before. And it's very important not getting emotionally involved, because sometimes we look to a person and we say, this is the one. We can't tell if you don't ask and if you don't ask the right questions, if you don't ask the people that really know the person. So it's very important before you get emotionally involved for you to ask the right questions, and for you to also be prudent. You say prudent?
Yes.
Be like watchful.
It's funny you mentioned that. I think she forgot to mention, she even told me that before we started speaking, she was observant in my services as well.
Oh.
So she would go and be like, let me see what he's preaching.
He's spiritual.
If he's spiritual or not. What's he talking about?
Yeah, because I knew his intentions.
Yes.
So for me to give him a answer, oh, don't come near me or talk to me or something like that, I had to see how.
Of course, you need to know where you were putting yourself in. Yeah, you had to know. There's a picture there. Show this picture. Here you were still talking, dating.
Only talking.
Only talking.
So here you were talking during these days.
Yeah.
Well, Edir, put there a little bit of what Bishop is talking in the love therapy, and then we'll come back with Shahil and his wife.
If you are already in a marriage, you need to work with what you have.
And pray.
And pray and go to the altar and understand the person.
Love stories in the hot seat.
Well, so then you you start talking to her. Share with us about it.
So, when I started talking to her, like I mentioned, I had never been in a relationship. I had no, as they say, charisma or game, as the youth say today. Typically, when a guy approaches a girl, he brings flowers, some sort of gift to know,
Yeah.
I'm interested.
To catch the
To catch her
woman's
attention, to do something nice.
to please her.
To please.
So a gift.
A gift.
Yeah.
And even I was even recommended by the
Something
pastor.
that is
one of the pastors.
representing the
Yeah.
person who is
A
interested.
teddy bear.
Yeah. So the pastor told me, why don't you give her a gift, something nice, chocolates or something. Yeah, I went the very opposite way. I just overheard her speaking to someone that she liked Doritos. So you can see where this is going. I got a packet of Doritos.
Just a pack.
Just a packet of Doritos.
Not with the bow, nothing.
Nothing. Just a packet of. I'm like,
Yeah, Doritos, okay? Don't forget this.
and then I went to her and said, sister, I heard you like Doritos. Here you go.
And he went away. He just gave me the
I gave
Doritos
and I
and he
just went.
went.
I got so nervous. Here you go. And then I went away. And then
What did you think when he did it?
I was like, what is the pastor doing? Why would he give me Doritos?
How does he know?
But yeah,
That's-
then for sure you spoke to her.
And then I said, I like you. I've been observing, so on and so forth, and I'm interested in you. And what do you think? I want to get into a relationship with you, so on and so forth. And she looked at me and she said, I'm going to pray about it.
Very well.
It was very. I was expecting her to say, yeah, I've been noticing. Maybe I have. No, I want to pray about it. I'm going to pray about it, and that's it.
And that's it.
I said.
And she left.
And she left. I said, what's wrong? I said, I thought maybe she might say, something nice. Yeah, I've noticed as well.
Why did you say, let me pray about it?
Because I was still observing here. I was still not sure. Because I was praying, but I was not, how can I say, I was not direct because I didn't know his complete intention. I just know that he liked me, sort of. So I was still...
Sort of.
Yeah,
Because I gave her a packet of Doritos.
The Doritos
Yeah.
meant something,
in the beginning, I thought he was just over friendly.
Oh,
I've
But-
always been cheerful.
Yes.
I've always been friendly.
nice.
But I've never given someone a packet of Doritos.
That's very
like
Okay.
special. Please, Jasleen.
Well, you prayed over it for
Yeah.
sure. You asked, and this shows, Andrea, when a person is desperate or is up to anything, with a package of Doritos or
No, not. Or even without.
yeah, we'll accept.
If the person approaches, yes.
Exactly, we'll accept whatever comes into his net or her net. And when you gave the opportunity of let me pray about it, once again you were doing exactly the same as him, surrendering it to God.
I was thinking about something that Bishop James spoke to us about, and regarding have a good idea and an ideal, because they already have they had an ideal that was to serve God on the altar, to get to know the right person, not only to date but for life, right? So this was an ideal, and if I'm focused on something, I cannot get distracted. I shouldn't be distracted. So are you the right one for me? Well, let's see. I'm going to pray about it because I have a priority. My God is the priority. My goal is to serve God is the priority, that is to serve on the altar. So it's not up to what I feel, but what God has in deposit for me.
Okay, we have there more pictures that Pastor Shahil sent from. Keep on explaining
Were
what
you
these
dating?
pictures
Yeah.
were.
These are photos of when we started dating.
Oh, so cute.
And prior to actually us starting to date for the process to be finalized, I actually made another campaign. And I made the campaign, God, I've never been in a relationship. And I don't want to get into... This is actually the photo of our first date.
Okay.
But I made the campaign and I said, God, I don't want to get into a relationship with someone that, later I have to break off and then get into another relationship. I want my first girlfriend to be my wife. I don't know if it's her. You know, I like her. But if it is her, amen, everything will just flow, you know, go in place. But if it's not her, show me, remove the desire, or like, not desire, but that liking, that feeling. And things just went into place. Fell into place. We got to know each other. You know, we started dating. We got to know each other's families. We got to know each other's, you know, likes, dislikes. We got to know each other's flaws. Got to know each other's strengths. Although we had made our homework before. But when you get into that dating phase, you get to know the person for who they are. Because that's when they, you know, let down their nets, kind of. You know, it's that dating. There's still that, you know, makeup, perfume phase still going. But, you know, you get to know the person more. And I think after a few months of dating her, I said, no, this is the one I want to marry.
You had the certainty.
I had the certainty.
And you? You too?
Yes, same.
I had the certainty. And I was even asked by my pastor, what do you think? Is she the one? Pastor, 100%.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Well, how long were you dating for until you got married?
So we were dating for about 2 years.
Yeah.
About 2 years. About 2 years until everything fell into place before. 3 years, I think.
Do we have pictures of the wedding? No.
No, did you?
No?
Did you send? No.
No.
I think
Just
there's
the
photos of the
this-
engagement.
Okay. The engagement.
Yeah,
Okay.
before.
Yeah, so I was about
With
2
the-
years.
After wedding.
A Doritos package? No. Yeah. Instead of a ring, you for the Doritos package.
And then my gifts became better.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
It became better. I
good to
started giving her actual gifts.
Yeah.
Okay, so I would like to ask you, you have that camera there, to talk with those women who are already fighting for their love life, and they also went through a few disappointments, and maybe they are still struggling with wounds that are still open from previous relationships. I would like your advice to them, please.
Okay, so my advice for you, all those who are suffering, don't be anxious. Don't be anxious and surrender your love life into God's hands, because He knows when is the right time and the right person to come into your life. So be rest assured. Don't be worried about I need to find someone, I need to marry someone, I need to date someone. No, be relaxed. Don't be anxious. God, He has a plan for you. You just need to be patient for Him to start working in your life.
Well, Shahil, I would like to ask you the same. There's men watching us, men who, like you, they were never in a relationship. Others who already were in relationships, but they all have something in common. They have the desire of succeeding in their love life. So give your advice to them, please.
So men, you know, everyone wants to be happy in a marriage, in a relationship. They want the woman of their dreams. But the thing is, you have to understand what is the definition of your dreams, because sometimes we think, oh no, it has to look in a certain way. But if your dreams are not the dreams of God, if that makes sense, if the woman that you marry is not the woman of God's dreams, I'm putting it in inverted commas, in God's criteria, you're not going to be happy. Which means the following. We have the love therapy. We have these tools nowadays that God uses to help us. What do? Surrender your love life in God's hands and learn to become a better man. Because as you get into a relationship, it's not just, I'm there. That's it. You have to learn how to be a better man. And sometimes we think, even Pastor was thinking, we think that, why isn't God blessing me right now? Perhaps God is waiting for you to become this better version of yourself, so that the woman that He has prepared for you, it will be blessed as well. Because I have to be a blessing to my wife, and my wife has to be a blessing for me. So surrender your love life in God's hands and ask God to guide you, to sort of mold you to become this better man.
Thank you very much. Well, where did you get married? Which branch?
The headquarters.
In the headquarters, where?
in the islands of Fiji.
The island of Fiji. Yeah, I was there close. Nearby.
Australia.
Close enough.
Yes.
Well, thank you very much for you to be here with us today. And Andrea, it's important to remind everyone we have the love therapy this coming Thursday, tomorrow at 8 p.m. And everyone who are watching us, they are our guests and they can give themselves the chance of being happy.
Of being happy by trusting. One of the examples that we took from our couple here today was the trust, either to wait and also to believe that God has the right person for each one of us, and God has the right person for you also. But before you find the right person, you need to become the right person. And we say it as an example. We were not born married, the same as with our couple here today, but we got prepared for a relationship through the altar. So do the same. Be with us 8 p.m. this coming Thursday. If you need to be counseled, we are going to be here together with our colleagues, and you can come to us and you will receive the guidance that you are in need of.
And tomorrow, Bishop James is going to have Pastor Dan from our church in Plasto on the hot seat. And don't forget, on Vivox, you can choose the pastor who is going to be not tomorrow, but the next Thursday in the Love Therapy. May God bless you all. The Love Talk Show is reaching the end. And please, out of everything that you've learned here, don't keep the Doritos with you. It's not what Doritos all about. It's the blessing of God upon you. Bye-bye.